Hello and welcome back to the podcast, bros. As always, it's me, Avizra Sumargi, and joining me today.
It's me, Gaurav Khanal. I hope you guys haven't forgotten me.
So, how long has it been, Gaurav?
I think it's been like 7-8 months, man.
Yeah, man, forever now, right? But anyway, so we're back now, and then we'll be pumping out content like we used to.
Back for
good. So today, what are we gonna be talking about, Gaurav?
So we are going to be talking about Barbenheimer. So can you guess?
Barbenheimer, huh? Barbie and Oppenheimer, of course, right? And yes, why are we talking about Barbie and Oppenheimer a month after it's been released?
Because still, they are still out there, pumping money, generating money, and,
Yeah. So we just wanted to talk about the cultural implications of both the movies Barbie and Oppenheimer, and the hype that it generated at the start and how it lived up to the hype and why it lived up to the hype, right? So I'm going to be pumping out a few numbers right now, and let's go from the top, right? So both these movies were released on 21st July 2023. Right, and it's very uncommon for two big name movies to be coming out at the same time.
Quite surprising, though.
Yeah, either one movie will come out a week earlier or a week later, so that they can at least generate money on their own. So both of them came out on 21st July. The next thing was that these movies were being directed by some of the biggest names in Hollywood. For Oppenheimer, it was Christopher Nolan, and for Barbie, it was Greta Gerwig. Right. And then the third thing is that these movies were being produced by some of the biggest names in Hollywood, of course. Barbie was being produced by Warner Bros. And then Universal produced Oppenheimer. Right. And then on the fourth is that Barbie and Oppenheimer both are big budget movies. Right. So for Barbie, they used $145 million to produce the movie. And for Oppenheimer, it was $100 million. We also know that these numbers are without the marketing and advertisement costs.
Okay.
So like with that, both movies will come around 150 to 200 million of budget, right? Which is massive budget for non-superhero movies, And then the final point is how much money did these people make and still making, like you said, pumping.
Yeah.
So Barbie at this moment, as of today, they've earned $1.28 billion, capital B in front.
Wow.
Right? Whereas Oppenheimer, on the other hand, $720 million.
That's good as well, being like
any
slow
movie
movie.
that will cross the 700 mark, that it's been watched worldwide. There is an audience for it. So we know that like both these movies, not only big budget movies and all this and all that, but they also pumped a lot of money for their companies. So why was there so much hype? And why did it touch the cultural zeitgeist like it did? So what do you think?
I think one of the reason is because of, it's both of them are like in a brand with a big name in history. Like Barbie being like one of the most famous doll that children's and kids
the
buy.
Dolls that you play with?
Not me, not now, or do I? But anyway, yeah, I mean, so, I think 60, 70 years of history.
Yeah.
And even with Oppenheimer, I mean, he's called the father of atomic bombs, and we have read him through our, school and all. So
history, yeah. So both these movies carry a massive history on their back, right? Like 70 plus years of legacy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not new thing for audience as well. Like Barbie and Oppenheimer. Okay, we know.
Yeah,
we can,
people in the
history.
culture know about these names, And then the other thing I also believe is that COVID, right? Like, yes, as of 2023, we think that COVID was like ages ago and we put it at the back of our mind. But if we think about it properly, even till May, June of 2022, we were still somewhat in the COVID era.
Yeah.
And then we saw that like the first movie that came out during the COVID era that was somewhat decent with a good story was Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun, yeah.
And that made $1 billion, right? So we know that people were hungry. They were tired. The superhero fatigue is a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, superhero movies, they're coming like every second month, we don't want to watch that.
And any form of good content or good movies that's coming out, they're straight up hitting the mark, right? We also saw this with that movie. What's the name? Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
Right? That made $1.3 billion with a capital B. And it's an animated movie. So we know that like any good content that's out there, after COVID specifically, people would go out to the movie theaters.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think people also want to give a chance, because then that's a way, because they were not able to go to the theaters for like 2-3 years, you know, and then, so maybe whatever movie comes will give them a chance.
And everybody thought that streaming was the name of the game now, but that changed. So we see that like people are still recovering from COVID, and then now if there is a good content out there, then people will go and watch.
I think the figure of these movies will just
Justify it,
proves us that okay, COVID is over. Don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
No hand sanitizers needed.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But anyways, so the other point that really did these movie amazing like publicity was the directors.
Yeah.
Right.
Famous.
So Christopher Nolan, of course, you've seen most of Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Which are some of your favorites?
Batman trilogy.
Yeah.
That is my favorite. I think I would say, and then Inception as well. I didn't get to see Tenet. I don't know how that movie was.
Tenet was a lukewarm reception, but we have also seen movies like Interstellar.
Interstellar, that's like one of my favorite movies as well. So I mean, when he releases a movie, I think normally massive population of people just
even
go and
star
watch the movies.
celebrities will leave their jobs to come and work for Christopher Nolan for a lower paycheck as well. So we've seen that as well. And then Greta Gerwig, of course, now she is becoming one of the bigger names of Hollywood. She has made this space for her where she not only is a great director, but she also can make movies where they have messages in it, and then it's not like heavy-handed or something, but she has definitely carved out a space in Hollywood where people revere her as a very, very prominent and amazing director, And some of the movies that she has done are like Lady Bird. What was the other one? Little Women.
Little Women.
Yeah,
I think she's proving herself to be more like female-oriented director.
Yeah.
I think.
And we saw this in Barbie, like a heavily female-oriented movie with a huge feminist messaging on the back of it. So we've seen that, and also she's also making the live-action Snow White movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Again, female-oriented. I think. Yeah.
So, of course, all of these people are doing amazing work, right? And that's why I think also it really helped that these kind of like directors were linked with these massive like brands and they were making a movie about these. So I think that really helped. Well, what do you think some of the other points are?
I think, I don't know. I mean, I think it was one of the reasons was Barbie being very famous was it was for all the audience, like no matter your age group and all, like even the kids and like you could watch with family and parents and all. And so I think that was one of the reasons that made it so success.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised. I wasn't expecting Barbie would do such a massive
I wasn't
figures,
expecting like $1 billion mark as well. For me, I thought it would get to like 600-700 million, like what Oppenheimer did.
Yeah.
And then I thought Oppenheimer would be one of those movies that will cross the $1 billion mark.
I was thinking that as well. But when I saw Oppenheimer, I could tell that people, because it's a slow and long movie, I could tell people it wasn't as expected.
It's kind of like a documentary, So, yeah. Anyways, the other thing that I think really propelled this whole thing was, yes, this was a big budget movie. Like we heard the number, $100 and $145 million for each movie. But star-studded cast that comes with a big budget movie. So, some of the cast for Barbie, right? The amazing Margot Robbie, who is also Harley Quinn, So she was in it. Ryan Gosling, Blade Runner 2049, massive star. La La Land and all that. Will Ferrell.
The Notebook.
The Notebook, of course, right? And then Will Ferrell, of course, a big comedian, right? And Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live, Michael Cera, who's been a staple in Hollywood, Simu Liu.
Asian superhero, right?
Yeah. So Shang-Chi, right? So we see that like not only does Barbie star-studded, but Oppenheimer, which people would have thought would not be as star-studded, given that it is kind of like a documentary about someone. Massive stars like Robert Downey Jr., right? Emily Blunt, Cillian Murphy, Peaky Blinders, of course. Florence Pugh,
Matt Damon,
right?
Matt Damon.
He's into the dark side of religious beliefs, so that's why the demon part. But anyways, so you see that these are like Oscar-nominated actors and actresses that are being what do we say, cast for these massive roles in these movies.
I also heard this news today that Florence, what's her
Florence
name?
Pugh?
So apparently Christopher Nolan, he apologized to her because she had like few minutes
Yeah,
role
yeah,
only.
yeah.
So
But
that proves the
But-
point that
right?
actors and actresses are that they are like so eager to work with Christopher Nolan that they don't care.
yeah, even like a 10 minutes part, she'll take it. And then a lot of those 10 minutes, she bared it all.
I mean, forget 10 minutes. Christopher Nolan, if you're watching this, 1 minute role, I would take it. I don't care.
And Christopher Nolan also has been known to do some like weird things, as in not weird by like weird standard, but weird by like normal standards, as in casting hairstyles in his Dunkirk movie, right? So like we know that like these people play and then all that, and not just that, but like the studio and all these things believe in these producers and directors so much that they'll let them do some weird things that are not in the norm.
And like Christopher Nolan is also like the best director that is currently, and this movie is without CGI. Can you believe it?
Yeah, not even a like single scene of CGI, huh? Incredible, right? Practical effects are everything. So that's that. And then what is the other reason do you think that this movie did really well?
I think it was also like a competition between male and female.
Yeah.
I would say that as well. I mean, I could see that as well. Like females supporting Barbie and dressing up all pinky and pinkish.
Yeah.
And so I think that was one of the reason why this movie was so much hyped.
Yeah. I think even at the outset of like when we just knew that these movies will be coming out together, there was almost like this cultural thing where like it was male audience versus female audience, and male audience were leaning towards the Oppenheimer movie and a lot of the female audience for the Barbie movie, right? So it was kind of like this. But then I think what tempered the whole male versus female argument was that when the interviews for these movies were coming out, the press junket and all that, then the stars of all these movies who were promoting the movie, they were hyping up the other movie and talking good about the other movie and all that and all. So it kind of made it okay for everyone to go to watch Barbie, for males to go to watch Barbie and females to come and watch Oppenheimer. It like they made it quite clear that like it doesn't have to be a male or female kind of oriented thing.
It's for general.
Both movies carry massive like messages and like cultural, what do we say, cultural implications, and that can be applied even in today's world. So it was just good for everyone to go. And did you suit up to go watch Barbie?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did.
really?
I was wearing pink.
Oh, my
I was supporting Barbie.
No, I didn't go with the whole shebang, but of course I did watch Barbie movie. And of course, Gaurav went for the first day, first show, right? He couldn't.
I didn't go for first day, first show, but
Yeah, I think for Oppenheimer we went first day, first show. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, like so, the male female angle also really helped hype up the movie to a great extent, And then finally, I feel like the statement the movies made.
Yeah, I think both the movies that were trying to tell a story that give a reason. I don't know what the reason was now.
I mean, like, so basically, Barbie's statement was that yes, it was a feminist movie, right? Yes, it kind of belittled men in some aspect, but the overarching point of the whole movie was that some days you'll have good days and some days you'll have bad days, but then at the end you're still a Barbie.
Yeah.
Right, so that was the main point that it was trying to make. And yes, sometimes some audience might take offense to the male aspect of it, some audience might take like offense to the female aspect of it, whatever. But the statement was good enough that it touched a lot of people's nerve.
Yeah.
Right, and it was able to walk the line very properly. We've seen other movies like the Captain Marvel movie, we've seen the Ghostbuster movie, the She-Hulk, Ocean 8. Right? All these movies were heavily female centric. One, that's fine. Nobody is mad about that. But the messaging about feminism and how male are like shit, that really pissed the audience off.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas for Barbie, you can see, yes, there might be times when you might not agree with the movie wholeheartedly, but the overall message of the movie, it did make a lot of people feel that like, okay, So I understand what you're trying to say, and then it's a good movie. So that's why the numbers reflect
Yeah.
it,
I mean, I think there was fun for like men's as well in the movie as well, because when you see, I mean, if you see the movie, like even Ken, the male character, he's having fun with Barbie, other Barbies as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he
yeah.
had his life as well,
Yeah, yeah,
So I think I mean, when I was watching it, obviously I got that sense, okay, why, like I was trying to like,
Yeah,
but
there
then
were
when you,
moments
yeah, there
when
were
they-
moments, but when you like continue watching it, then you can see, okay, now, so this
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
message they're
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to show and all.
So you can ignore those aspects where you are like, not completely agreeing with the
Yeah.
movie and all that. So overall, Barbie's messaging was really nice. And on the other hand, Oppenheimer, the messaging from Oppenheimer, as we've seen,
Yeah.
right, like the Russian-Ukraine war,
Yeah.
that has started creating implications of nuclear war on the horizon or a World War III on the horizon, right? Like people have started to take sides and all that. So Oppenheimer's message in the movie, yes, of course, we were watching Oppenheimer as the main character and what went on and all that and all. But the message of the movie, overarchingly, was that nuclear war is not good.
Yeah.
The
I
world
mean,
is going to
yeah.
suffer. Billions of lives might be lost. Right?
Yeah, I think
So-
that is what the movie is trying to show. That
Yeah.
the one thing we have to learn from history and these wars and everything is it's bad for everyone. There's no winner,
Yeah,
winning or losing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so both movie heavy messaging, but done in a subtle way that you don't feel like you are being preached to, right? Like as if they are telling you this is right and that's wrong and
no.
you should do this or that. It's more they're saying a message, but they are also generalizing it in a way, and they're also giving it with a nice movie and a story to
Yeah.
back. So that way, like everyone can enjoy a good movie as well, and for the people that understand or get the message, they can take away the message as well. So yeah, nice balance in all of this, And any other points that you think we missed why these movies did so well?
I think we have covered it all. I mean, it was star packed. The directors were awesome. The message they're trying to, prove matches with today's, like how the society is going today.
Yeah.
So I think, good for them. Good for the producers, being rich.
And which movie did you prefer? No, Gaurav.
I think I would prefer Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I prefer Oppenheimer as well. And this is no indictment on Barbie, of course.
No, I
because
mean-
you have to understand that like Barbie was the main target of Barbie movie was female, right? So there will be points and like points of contention when we were watching it. But of course, the time that I went to watch Barbie, right, there were male audiences present there that really took offense to it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, why are you talking about this, or why are you saying this and that, and like just blurting it out loudly in the hall, So at least we did not experience it to that level where we had to like just stand up and make a statement or some shit, We were still like, okay, we understand what they're trying to say. Okay, sometimes this might be this, but then like overall the main message is good enough.
Yeah.
So it's not an indictment on Barbie. It's just that like we prefer different kind of movies, and then Oppenheimer was amazing. Barbie was amazing as well, but sometimes hit or miss for us.
I mean, 1.28 billion. Probably 50% of the viewers were male. It's not that they're not supporting or anything. Plus, I think Barbie also showed that today's women has to be taken into consideration as well. You can't ignore them, and they're doing great in all the fields, and also they're not only housewives and cooking and all these things.
On the flip side, even if you are, that's fine. That was the message of Barbie.
It's okay. Sometimes.
So it wasn't like trying to preach, saying that like a female should have like this or that or like this kind of career and this should be this. Of course, there were moments of where they were making a statement, but in general, they were like, just be you and
just
be
be you.
happy with your situation, because there will be good days, bad days, this, that, and all. And Oppenheimer, nuclear war is bad, bro.
But that was the whole point of the movie. Like when the actor went crazy after after the blast and all, like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So I think 2 key takeaways from this movie was men and women chill, and there are bad days and good days. And from Oppenheimer, I think the war is bad. So love and peace.
Yeah. I think that should be the motto for everyone, love and peace. But okay, so let's go to the conclusion. In conclusion, what do you think?
In conclusion, I think Cillian Murphy will win Oscars.
Right? Even Robert Downey Jr. will have a very
Supporting,
strong
yeah.
say for like supporting actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Margaret Robbie might win as well, I think.
So I think Margot and Killian will go for the best actor in their like lead role, and I think Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Gosling will go for the supporting actor.
So who out of those two, who's gonna win best movie, like best film? What do you think?
I think
critic-wise, I mean, because it's like Oscars, right? I think Oppenheimer will win it.
I think Barbie is gonna win the best movie. My reason behind this is because it made not only did it make a lot of money, right? Unimaginable amount of money, but also it was a female-centric movie that had a very good message to it, and for the whole cultural, like contemporary culture, So I think that had a bigger movement behind it. So I think that's why I think Barbie will take the movie of the year, and then I think for the actors, I think Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. will take, and of course Margot Robbie will take it as well. So
Again, feeling sad for Ken.
Yeah, I mean not too much though, as we saw in the movie. Yeah, Ken can survive in the real world. Anyways, okay. So,
Ken is enough. Ken enough.
Yeah.
There was the thing in.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, so both movies are masterpiece.
And yeah, if you guys haven't watched it yet, watch it.
Yeah, go out, watch it. I think you guys would enjoy the movie. Oppenheimer, I don't think is everyone's cup of tea, similar with Barbie. But if you do not get too stuck into the details and just watch it from a step back, I think you will enjoy the movie.
It's a movie, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't be too serious.
Exactly.
Take a chill
and
pill.
then the other part of the thing is there's a way to make statements, and then you can have. So, for example, this was what I really took away from this whole thing, right? And I know we are trying to conclude here, but anyways. So, when we see stand-up comedians, right? So, if they're talking about some really heavy material, what they'll do is they'll say the material, but they'll also sprinkle in jokes, right? So, that makes the material not that heavy. In a similar way, Barbie and Oppenheimer, they were like heavy messaged movies, but they were able to walk the line because the entertainment value from the like the directing standpoint of the story being good with the messaging. I think that really softened the blow.
I think this is a good way of showing message. Like you imagine, like you wanna show messages, and then you just plant a bomb somewhere, and then many thousands of people die, and then see, bombing is bad. No, watch a movie. It's trying to portray in a good way. Without harm.
Exactly. And then the final part of the conclusion, I would say, is that, when we were in high school, what did we learn in commerce? That customer is king, right? So we've seen examples where these big production companies like Warner Bros. Or like Universal or the other Foxes and all these other things, they will try to shove down messages and moralism and all these things down your throat. Right, where to the point where like it's like, okay, bro, I don't even want to watch this, or I don't want to hear your message. So what we have to understand, or what these big corporation have to understand, is that the audience can make their own decision. If you put a good product out there in the market, people will go and watch it, irrespective, or like not just in the field of movies, but anywhere,
anything,
right?
product, service, anything.
So if you put a good product or service out there, people will find it and go and use it. Or like take advantage of it. So these big production company, I think, need to understand that it's not about shoving messages down somebody's throat. So for example, even the Disney live action Snow White movie, it's getting a lot of like backlash because the main actress is Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. They made these heavy-handed, like, females don't need to be saved. And then, like the Snow White is a princess movie, but now she doesn't need to be saved, and then the man doesn't need to be the Prince Charming and all that and all. And then the backlash was, why are you making a Snow White movie then? Just make a movie with a different name, because one of the reasons Snow White has stood the test of time of over 100 years is because it's a fairy tale story.
Yeah.
You can relate to it in multiple ways, you know, and different times of history.
Yeah. So I think in order, like, because Snow White, like, hundred of years, like, people has been, like, hearing about that. So in order for that fairy tale to continue in history, you have to make these kind of movies so that, next generation can see it and
Exactly.
relate.
Right?
And then there will be, again, after 100 years, there will be another movies like with the same name and all.
Yeah.
So, you can.
But if you change the whole dynamic of the movie and then but you're still using the IP of the fairy tale, then that means that it's basically you're trying to preach to us by hitting our nostalgia nerve by using the name of Snow White. You know what I mean? Rather than that, just do the IP the justice it deserves.
Yeah.
So I think that is another part of the whole thing. And then if you're treating the audience with respect, if you're letting them feel like they don't need to be spoon fed everything, but they can understand it on their own terms, then I think people will gravitate to whatever product, if it's good quality product or service.
I mean, haters will hate. I mean, but people just, those who just watch these movies as a movie will just continue and buying tickets.
So to quote you and the great Taylor Swift, haters gonna hate, shake it off. Right?
Shake it off.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty much it for our conclusion.
Shake your finger and like, subscribe, and comment.
All right, so that's pretty much it for our Podcast Bros foray back into the YouTube and of course Barbie and Oppenheimer. Barbenheimer. Right? So that's pretty much it. I think we'll come back with the content for the next week and see you guys in the next one. Anything you want to say?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace!